What's going on, my YouTube dudes? We just got back from the gym. I'm getting ready to eat my last meal for the day, so I figured I'd share it with you guys. It's Jade's famous protein pancakes, and she didn't tell me to put that on the video. Alright guys, so what you're gonna need is some type of blender. This is a Vitamix. This is like the Smoothie King type blender that they use, but you can just use any type of blender. You can go to Walmart and get a $19.95 blender. That's gonna work perfectly fine. You'll need a half a banana, some oats. Don't get the steel cut oats. Get just the normal Quaker instant oats. If you want to, this is optional. Creatine monohydrate. And in the later videos, I'll go over creatine and the advantages of creatine. But for this video, we'll just talk about making the pancakes. And you'll also need whey protein, and then this is optional. It's baking powder. This makes this taste like absolute heaven. The only issue with the baking powder is I got baking soda. I got baking soda.
It's baking powder, not soda.
I got baking powder. I got baking powder. For 1/8 of a teaspoon,
which is very small.
Which is extremely small. There's 65 milligrams of sodium, so 6 times 8, you do the math. That's a lot of sodium, like 560 milligrams or over 500, so it's a lot. And in later videos, I'll go over why you want to stay away from sodium. When I first started the pancake, when I first started making them, or Jade started making them, she used to put this in it without me knowing, and this makes it taste good as hell. I mean, this is gonna be just, if you want to add it, you go ahead and add it, guys. But keep in mind the sodium. It's a lot of sodium for it. So, and I think that's it. So let's get started. So basically, what we want to do is get the oats into like a fine powder. What we want to do is add a half of a cup of raw oats to the blender.
You're making flour out of oats.
The oats act as the flour. So follow me, my people, into my makeshift kitchen. We have no countertops. We have absolutely no counter space, but that's coming soon, guys, and I'll show you the rest of the house soon too. Hopefully before the end of the year, we'll be finished because we got a hell of a lot of stuff going on. It needs to be fine. It needs to be really, really fine, like powder. So if you are finding that, Abel, get off the counter. Abel. We're trying to film a video. Have some freaking decency, will you? So guys, and shout out to Jade, cause she's holding this camera. We just did arms less than an hour ago.
I'm dying.
And her freaking arms are on fire because she's not used to holding the camera.
Excuse the shaking.
So yeah, get it to a fine powder. And then, which usually takes maybe 15 seconds.
Depending on what blender you have.
If you can see
it's the best blender ever.
This is the best blender, I ain't gonna lie. It's like over $300, but it's a beast. That is a fine powder. That is like crack rocks. It looks great. If you are doing just one serving, you can probably just put it in the blender, all the ingredients in the blender, and just blend it up and then use it to make the pancakes. But since we usually do it like Monday through Friday, so we usually get like 5 little containers and put them each in their little container. Usually what I eat for breakfast is half a cup of raw oats. Abel, you're not cooking. But sometimes it gets kind of redundant and you get kind of bored of it. So this is a good way to mix it up, and it tastes, I mean, this tastes like freaking ridiculous. You will get hooked to this. So if you're making just one serving, keep it in here, put everything in here and blend it up. If not, you're gonna have individual little to-go containers and just pre-mix all the powder in here. And then once
all your dry ingredients.
Yeah, all your dry ingredients. Have it just pre-mixed, and then you can add the eggs and all that after. All right, so we have the flour made out of the oats. Next thing we're gonna do is add a half a banana. You kind of want to make you want to make sure that the banana is not too green, because if it is, it's gonna taste like ass chips. So you want to make sure that the banana is sort of on the verge of not going bad, but you know what I mean. You don't want to use a real banana that's not ripe. I'm not gonna add the baking powder just because I usually don't do it. It's optional. If you want to add the baking powder, go for it. I put creatine in mine, and it's usually 5 grams, so that's 1 tablespoon. So that's 2 of these. 1 scoop of protein, and then ground cinnamon. And for all my Spanish YouTube subscribers and all my Spanish people out there, for God's sakes, be careful, because if you got cinnamon next to the cumin and you accidentally put cumin in your shit, you are gonna be one unhappy freaking pancake eater, because this is gonna taste like straight ass juice.
You really know how ass tastes, huh?
That's another video for another day. A half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Alright guys, so then once you have all those powdered ingredients and the banana, you want to add the wet ingredients. I'm not sure if I said it at the beginning of the video or not, but you want to use Greek yogurt. This is plain non-fat Greek yogurt. You can find this at Walmart. It's probably the cheapest type of yogurt you can get, and it's got a lot of protein in it. It's got 23 grams per cup, and we're going to use about that much, maybe 2 tablespoons worth. When you're using this by itself, when you're eating it by itself, it's kind of hard to down. I actually eat it as if it were sour cream. So it's kind of sour, but if you add it along with other things, it's really, really good. Or you can add fruit to it. Next thing you want to do is add 2 egg whites. You can add an egg white and a whole egg if you want. Me personally, I just do 2 egg whites. Alright, so another thing that I forgot to mention is the raisins. You can either use some type of dry fruit or raisins, or you can use like strawberries or some other type of fruit, but this is my fruit of choice. I really like raisins. So I'll just add just a couple of grams of raisins, and then we mix everything. You want to make sure that you mix all the dry ingredients first, and then just add the eggs and then the yogurt. So now all we want to do is mix this.
I'm in love with the cocoa. I'm in love with the cocoa.
Alright guys, another thing that you can add to make it a little more sweet, you shouldn't have to add it because the banana is going to make it real sweet, but you can add all natural honey. That's usually my sweetener of choice. Just add a little bit, or if you want to add it at the end as like a maple syrup, you can add that at the end as well. But I usually, if you're on the way to work, you don't have time to pour maple syrup on stuff and all that, just put it in there and it's gonna work out. Alright guys, so we have all the ingredients mixed. Now we have the pan heating up. We use coconut oil as, you know, our oil of choice. That's kind of like what we like to use. You can use any other type of oil. I would say stay away from like the olive oils and stuff, because it's gonna make it taste like straight up booty. But this is what we use. The key is to just get this low and slow, because if you don't, you're gonna burn it and then it's gonna taste like burnt ass potato chips. So just make sure it's nice and slow. Alright, so another thing that you're gonna need is a spatula, because we're working with a spatula. We know we love flipping shit. Well, and we're in luck. We get to use Jade's famous miniature flipper. She said I couldn't use this one because I'm not allowed, because I'm gonna scrape the shit out of this thing. So
it's already scraped.
So now we have to use this, guys. We're working with what we got. So let's do it.
So with this mix, you can usually make 2 pancakes. Orlando, are you making one?
Yeah, let's make one.
It depends on what pan size you use as well. We're just using kind of like the medium size pan. It's not huge. He's making a pretty thick pancake, so that's why the slow and low heat really works well.
Low and slow, baby. You cannot go wrong with low and slow.
Okay, so once you start seeing some bubbles start to happen here, you know that the pancake is obviously cooking. But once you get bubbles pretty much all around, which I'll show a video once that starts forming, that's when you know that it's time to flip it.
Alright guys, so you see all this crispiness and deliciousness around here? That means it's almost done. They got a little bubbles at the top. So we're about to flip this thing, guys. And if this is a freaking epic fail, then so be it. Cue the music. Alright, that was an epic fail. Let's try it again. Wow, baby, yes! We got it. Let's do it. So we just flipped it, and we gotta leave it for about another minute to a minute and a half. And then it should be cooked all the way. You just want to make sure you touch it and it's stiff. You want to make sure it's stiff. Yep, see how it's moving like that? It's finished. Now let's plate this Bang. Alright guys, so we're getting ready to plate this thing. One word of advice, use a hard plate. For all my single dudes out there, I know it might be common sense, but a lot of guys don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm here to help you. Use a hard plate. Go to the dollar store, get your dollar plate, because if you use a styrofoam or plastic plate, you're gonna end up with something that looks like a freaking refried Tostito chip. Lord, give me strength. Boom! There you go. Beautiful. This is everything I needed and more. It looks like a Crunchwrap Supreme. This shit's gonna make you stay lean. Beautiful. Now let's see how this tastes. Alright guys, so let's give this a taste. If it tastes anything like Jade's, I'm probably going out of business. So hopefully it tastes like what I think it's gonna taste like. And not some Rachel Ray burnt toast. It's hot. Tastes like heaven. Alright guys, so as you can see, the pancakes didn't stand a chance. Test out the recipe, let me know how you like it, comment below, subscribe, and more than anything, stay watching my friends.